I've spent years working with businesses and watching how they approach interviewing and hiring and culture. And it's amazing how we understand that people are important and we want to build culture. And yet our processes and the way that we approach that don't match that at all. The hiring process and the recruiting process is one of those things that it seems like it is so cookie cutter. It is so poorly done. And who you allow into your organization is one of the biggest contributing factors to your organization's success. Why would anyone want to show up to a place and spend 40 plus hours of work a week working with people that they don't even like or respect? And a lot of employees, they don't have control over that. They don't have a say in who works next to them. As an organization, you do. You have a say over that. But because you're not the one who has to work next to that person day in and day out, we're looking at people coming through the door and we're looking at resumes and we're just looking at background, experience, skill sets, qualifications. Well, guess what? There's a whole lot more to a person and to an employee than those things. And there's a whole lot more that affects culture than those things. And these are real people. And this is real time. And this is time that we do not get back. If you want people to want to show up and work for you because they're motivated, because they care, because they're challenged, because they feel appreciated, then as the organization, it is our job to protect them, to motivate them, to encourage them, and to make our organizations a place that value their time and their resources and their gifting, because nobody wants to look back on their life and look at the years and the hours and the days that they spent at work trading time for money and wish that it had been different. Nobody wants that. And yet, as employers, we have to have that mindset. We have to change the way that we think about people's time, skill sets, resources, and lives. This is the one thing we are not guaranteed time. We are not guaranteed more days, and there is 100% chance of death at some point, which sounds very morbid, but at the same time, it's like if we're looking at how we want to spend our lives, yes, we have to make money, but you know what? We were given skill sets. We were given unique gifting. We were given personality. We were given purpose. And there is a plan and a purpose for how we should be sharing that, developing that, contributing that with the world. And the beauty of business is it gives us those opportunities to come and to develop and to grow and to be challenged and to engage in relationships and to build connections and to make a difference and to give our contributions, to give our time and our resources to something that can make an impact, that can make a difference. That is work. That is what organizations should be. So when we're looking at hiring, when we're looking at how we approach this process, that should be the number one factor is what group of people, what qualities, what characteristics, what skill sets can we bring together in the most collaborative, productive, trust-building, energy, life-giving way that we can in order to do great work and to have an impact on the lives and the communities and the businesses around us. That is the hiring mentality, which is severely lacking in today's world. We're just cookie cuttering it down. We're taking people and personality out of the equation, which is the number one mistake. Like, we are looking at how can we bring people together and add value and create value in the world around us. And if we had that mindset first, how is that going to change your interview process? How is that going to change the questions that you ask? How is that going to change the way that you look at the entire process? Guess what? It's going to change it a lot. It's going to totally shift your whole perspective into how you approach this. And you know what I've seen? I've seen that when you change your perspective to that and you change your process and you look at it differently and you do it differently, guess what? You get different results. You actually attract people who value those things. You attract better candidates. They come in and they have skill sets to give and gifting to give, and they're fun to be around, and they have shared values, and it creates culture, and it creates engagement and innovation and creativity and collaboration. And that is when businesses grow and succeed. And I've seen it work. Only it takes a mindset shift and it takes a process shift, but it has to start with the organization. It has to start with leaders and employers who recognize that what they're doing isn't working, that what they're doing, the system they're following, guess what? It's broken. And it's time to fix it. It's time to challenge it. It's time to do it differently. So if you can put people first and start thinking about it that way, guess what? There are ways. I've created a whole framework on how to do this because it will change your business. It will change your culture. It will change people's lives where they will actually want to come to work every day because they get to work with people who are awesome to be around, people who are skilled, people who are valuable. And you're not going to be sitting there going through the painful cycle of rehiring over and over again. You're not going to be dealing with mediocre employees. You're not going to be dealing with a lack of engagement and people not wanting to come to work every day. Guess what? Sure, there are people who don't want to come to work, but you know what? You don't have to hire them. Don't hire them. You should have higher standards. You should say no more often. You should change your messaging and actually attract, like your messaging and how you look at this should be attractive to people you want in your organization. And once you start to see this shift, you realize, oh wow, there's something to this. Like when we look at people and lives and psychology, it all makes sense, right? But then we put our freaking blinders on and we just look at the freaking resume and we ask the standard canned boring questions, and then we end up with subpar employees and broken culture and broken engagement, and we wonder where it went wrong. Like, this is something that, this is like a call to action. This is something that it starts with employers. It starts with organizations doing this differently. And it's all there. It all exists. It's not even rocket science. It's not hard. It starts with clarity. It starts with people, and it starts with process.